What's up, people on the interwebs? Hope you have an amazing day. Now today I'm going to show you some resources I used to pass the N5, some of the resources I'm moving on to now, and just a couple of tips and tricks for the actual exam and when to take it, and just hopefully maybe a really good tip I thought what I actually did in my JLPT N5 exam that I'm definitely going to do going forward for the exam. So hopefully there might be some useful stuff if you're studying Japanese and you want to pass, and also you just might be like, I have no idea where to start with learning Japanese. So let's dive into some of the Japanese resources I have been using. Now the first one is a classic, everyone has it, everyone's seen it. It's the Genki books. This is like a good rule of thumb to kind of start with, just to kind of get a feel of the language. If you finish Genki 1 and Genki 2, that is meant to be sort of like foundation of Japanese, or at least sort of elementary Japanese, because if you pass N4, you have finished elementary level of Japanese is what they say. You should sort of know the basic Japanese elementary kid learns during their time in elementary school. So this is one book. It's so-so. I think sometimes it could explain things definitely better, like a mixture with this, and to be honest I also used ChatGPT a couple of times, because with this and asking ChatGPT a question, the mixture of it kind of just gives a better explanation sometimes. But you know, it depends on what you do. You know, you might like ChatGPT or not. Personally, I like a good mixture, because there is times I have found old ChatGPT to be helpful, just to give me a quick breakdown of something I didn't quite understand. I also really liked this book for passing the JLPT. I'm actually going to see if I can get the N4 version of this one, because I really liked it. Has how the test is kind of structured and like what the test questions are going to be, how do you answer it. Each kind of unit's kind of broken down in different categories, and it also sort of says if you get this book sort of 6 weeks before the exam and you do 1 week every week for 6 weeks, you should pass the JLPT. And at the moment the book is true, because I did it 1 week every week for 6 weeks and I did pass. So far this book is living up to its word, so definitely recommend this one. And I also thought it was just a fun little book. I like how in the book a lot of the questions are kind of illustrated with these little dinosaurs, and I think they were pretty fun throughout the whole book. So those are two current real life books I have with me. I also used a lot of online resources. I mentioned in my last video I use Linguistic Ninja. I really like that one for learning vocab. I think that one's very helpful. Also using Japanese Pod. I used a mixture of YouTube videos as well. I also really like a YouTuber called Genki, where he's breaking down Japanese through video games. I find him very helpful. And then I also use a mixture of random YouTube videos that came up to help me with Japanese. There's definitely sometimes as well, there's a few videos where it's like learn Japanese while sleeping, and sometimes I would either put those videos on or put a Japanese podcast while sleeping, just to kind of help with listening. And also doing listening tests on YouTube. If you put JLPT listening test, some examples of the level you want to take should come up. My friend donated me her old N4 books, so I'm going to try and give these two a go, maybe although with the mixture of the N4 version of this book, with continuing for my online resources I have. So those are a mixture of all the online resources I'm using. I'm also using a flashcard system for kanji as well. I think it's called Kanji Study, where it's just little flashcards that it's broken down into N5 to N1, and again just showing like the basic kind of kanji you need to know, or at least just the breakdown of like how this kanji on its own, like how the on and kun reading of the kanji should be. So I also like that one as well. So those are kind of the mixtures of books I'm currently using at the moment. I just wanted to add one thing what I did for the JLPT, which I found really useful, and I'm definitely going to do it continuing forward. When it comes to the listening section, before the questions start, it will show you a example one of like, this is how the test is going to work, and then the actual test begins. Now what I did for the example one is, while I was talking about how the example question works, I went through the book just looking what the potential listening questions could be, and if there was any kind of Japanese text of like the answers either 1, 2, 3 and it's all in Japanese, I was quickly just skimming through going, let me see if I can put it in English, what these words are going to be, because the last thing I want is when I get to this question, I see the Japanese and I'm like, I don't know what this word is, and I don't have time to kind of decode it whilst also listening for the question and the story. So I quickly just went through all the example questions that are going to come up for the test, like what the pictures were, what the texts were, just making some notes on like the questions probably going to be something like this, or if it had a quick easy example where if it had like ichigatsu, nigatsu, sangatsu and shigatsu, I kind of just put a note, it was January, February, March, April, just for my mental brain to know, okay, it's going to be a date, it's going to be a March, it's going to be a place. Also for places, there was somewhere it's like the Tosho, like cafe, is it Toshokan? For library, or if it just had like place names, I just kind of put next to English that this place is like library, this place is a museum, just so it kind of, when you get to the question, you are not kind of stunned going like, Christ, what is this Japanese? I don't know, and oh god, the listening's coming and I only hear it once, I don't have enough time to kind of decode both. So I found that really useful. While the kind of example question was being listened on, I just kind of went through the exam book and made little notes about each question. And also just be careful when you do take the JLPT, because every section of the book, their first question is an example of how you answer the questions going forward. For the example one, get a pen and just cross it out. Like, really make yourself aware that this is an example. It's actually not the test itself. Because when my brother first took the JLPT, he actually made this mistake. He looked at the example question thinking it was question 1, and then he didn't realize till the end of his exam that all of his questions were off by 1, because he actually went to go answer the example question. So make sure you don't fall for that silly mistake of you thinking the example question is actually question 1. You know, you see example, you get your pencil, you just put a line through it to go, this is the example, this is not question 1, the one underneath is going to be question 1. So there's just a quick video on the current books that I'm using to study for the N4, and hopefully some useful advice for taking the JLPT to make sure you're using your time wisely, and for you to not make any silly mistakes, because you don't want to wait 6 months again. This test is absolutely brutal. It's really trying to trip you up. But that's today's video. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments down below. If there's anything you want to see about me, Japan, life in general, just let me know in the comments down below. Let's have a chat, because I want to talk to you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.